Guys, what we're going to do now is a in-cab pre-trip inspection for an automatic truck, okay? It's the same exact thing as a manual, basically, same thing. We're going to do an air supply system, we're going to do an in-cab inspection, and we're going to do a parking brake and service brake check, okay? The only difference is when you get in the truck, you with the examiner, you'll ask the examiner, can I step outside to chock block the wheels, okay? So we've already done that. We've already chock blocked the wheels. Okay. So now we can go ahead and start the inspection right here. So the first thing you do always is seat belt. Okay. Now what we need to do is a safety start. Safety start is basically the same thing as a manual. We want to make sure our transmission is in neutral. Our parking brakes are set. We will turn the key to the on position. ABS light for truck and trailer come on and off and are working properly. Now we can safely start the truck. So the first test we're going to do is an air governor cutoff check. What we need to do is we need to pump our service brakes to lose air below 90. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do, is pump our brakes until these primary and secondary air gauges here go below 90. That should be good. Now we're going to test our air governor cutoff. Okay, the air governor should cut off between 120 and 140 psi. So at this point, it's okay to rev the engine up to 1,000 RPMs, roll the window down, and listen for the air governor. So we're at about 115 right now. So it's getting close to that point between 120 and 140 that we should hear. There it is. The air governor cutout, we're going to call that 125. So air governor cutout at 125 psi. The truck passes the test. Okay. Now we need to perform an air leakage rate test. Before we do that, we need to shut off the engine. We need to turn the key back on so that we can see our gauges. Now what we need to do is release both of our tractor and trailer protection valves. The truck will not move right now. It moved just a few inches. The chock blocks are what stop the truck from moving right now. So air leakage rate test. The combination vehicle, truck and trailer, cannot lose more than 4 psi in 60 seconds. So how do we do that? We have to press and hold our service brake. We want applied pressure 40 psi. Okay, so that's my foot on the brake pedal. That's the amount of pressure I'm placing on the pedal. My gauges have stabilized. I'm going to call that 95 psi. So my current psi is 95. 1 minute starts now. So we're going to basically fast forward this, okay? But basically, you can have your phone on airplane mode, you can use a stopwatch, whatever you want to use, but you're just counting to 60 seconds. You've got to keep your foot stable, and you've got to keep the pressure good, and you've got to look at those gauges to make sure you're not losing pressure. So let's just say the 60 seconds are over now. The gauges indicate that I have not lost more than 4 psi in 60 seconds, which is good. That's a good thing. It's still 95 psi. So the combination vehicle passes the test because we're testing for air leaks from the front of the truck to the rear of the trailer. So now you can let off the brakes. So that's the second test. The first was air governor. The second was the air leakage rate test. The third test is our air warning devices. Okay. Most trucks have a low air warning light or a buzzer or both. So this truck has a low air warning light. It should come on at or above 55 psi. How do we get the truck to get the low air warning light on? Very simple. We have to start pumping our brakes. So start pumping the brakes just like that. 1,000, 2, 1,000, not too fast. And we're waiting for that low air warning light to come on the dash right here. And there it is. So the low air warning light came on and stayed on at about 60. It's at 60, sorry, not about, it's at 60 PSI. So the low air warning light passes the test. So now that's the third test. The fourth test, and this is the last test in the air supply system, we need to test our emergency brakes. So all we do now is we continue pumping our service brakes. These protection valves, tractor and trailer, should pop out between 20 and 45 PSI. It's very important that you say that exactly like that, because you're telling the examiner that you understand the criteria for this test. So we continue pumping, and we're looking at these valves. We're not looking at the gauges. We're looking at these valves to make sure they both pop out at the same time. Okay, this is a good scenario. Don't panic. The trailer protection valve popped out at 25 PSI. Trailer protection valve is working properly. Now we have to continue pumping until the tractor protection valve pops out. Okay, good. The tractor protection valve popped out at 20 PSI. Both protection valves are working properly. Now, in that scenario, if you don't pay attention and the trailer protection valve popped out first, and you say both protection valves are working properly, you will fail because they did not both pop out. So that's why you must watch the valves, not the gauges. So now what we do is we turn the key off. Air supply system test complete. At this point, we can exit the vehicle and remove the chock blocks, or we can do our in-cab inspection and then remove the chock blocks, because you may not be able to remove the chock blocks now because the truck rolled onto them. So what we're going to do is the in-cab inspection. We're going to do a safety start. Again, transmission is in neutral. Parking brakes are set, obviously, because they just popped out. We're going to turn the key to the on position. Tractor and trailer ABS light came on and off again. They're working properly. Now we can safely start the truck. So at this point, we're just going to ask the examiner to do the in-cab. We're just waiting for the gauges, and we need to listen for the air governor to cut out a second time. So while we're waiting, we can check our emergency equipment. The first thing we're going to check is our fire extinguisher by my seat. It is fully secured and fully charged. We're also going to check that the truck has 3 red reflective triangles that are usually behind the seat here. We're also going to make sure that we have 6 spare fuses. We are now going to check our mirrors. We want to make sure the mirrors are clean and adjusted properly. We want to check our windshield. Windshield is clean, no cracks, no damage, no flaws, and there's no obstructions except for an inspection sticker. Now we check our windshield wipers and washers. The arms and blades are secure, not damaged, and they operate smoothly. You have to demonstrate. The window washers are also working properly. You have to demonstrate. Now we can check our heater and defroster. So heater, demonstrate, it's working properly. Defroster is also working properly. City horn and air horn. Now, if this happens on the test, don't panic. The air horn's not going to work right now because we haven't built up enough air. So we're going to wait just a second and we'll test that air horn in just a moment. So now that we've done the in-cab, oh, that's a good scenario, guys. We got to make sure we check our lighting indicators. So on the dash, we're going to check the right turn signal, the left turn signal, the 4-way flashes, and the high beams. Okay, we want to make sure that they're working on the dash. Okay, so I think that's everything. And again, if this is your test, just double check yourself. I almost forgot the lighting indicators. So we mirrors, windshield, wipers, defroster. We checked our emergency equipment. We checked our lighting indicators. Now we should be able to check that air horn. There it goes. So now we're just waiting for that air governor to cut out again. So I can rev the engine again just up to about 1,000. And we're listening for that air governor one more time. There it goes. So again, air governor cut out at 135, still working properly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse a few inches just so I can get away from that chock block. So we're going to release our parking brakes. That should be enough. Okay, seatbelt back on. We're going to test our parking brakes. The first test we're going to do is our tractor parking brake. To test our tractor parking brake, we're going to release our trailer parking brake. To put it in gear, we have to gently put our foot on the brake, place the shifter in to drive. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try and pull forward. The truck did not move. There was a little bit of resistance. The truck did not move, which means the tractor parking brake is working properly. Now we can engage the trailer parking brake. Now we're going to test the trailer. We test the trailer by releasing the tractor parking brake. Then we're going to try and pull forward again. Okay, truck does not move, a little bit of resistance. That means the trailer parking brake is working properly. So both of these parking brakes are working properly. Now we are going to test our service brakes. How do we do that? We release both of our parking brakes. We're in gear, foot on the service brake. Service brake test, we're going to pull forward at 5 miles an hour, move about 10-15 feet, apply our service brakes, and hold the steering wheel gently. So we're going to just pull forward gently here, about 10-15 feet, and just gently stop. Okay, truck stopped, which is good. The truck did not pull left or right, which is good. So service brakes are working properly. So we're going to set our parking brakes, place our transmission back into neutral, turn the key off, in-cab inspection complete. Now you ask the examiner to please step outside of the vehicle for our external light check. You turn the key back on. The examiner will be in the front of the truck. Now we're just going to run through our external lights. So he's standing at the front of the truck. We're going to first check our clearance lights. Then we're going to check our headlights. He will give you the thumbs up. We're going to check our high beams, right turn signal, left turn signal, and four-way flashes. Then we ask the examiner to check the side marker lights, left and right. Okay, he'll give you the thumbs up on the both marker lights. Those are the ones on the side of the vehicle. Then we ask the examiner to please move to the rear of the trailer. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Tail lights, turn signals, four-way flashes, and don't forget brakes. We need to make sure we check our brakes. Okay, the brake lights are working properly. After that, the examiner will come back to the front of the vehicle, and that's where you will start your out-cab inspection. Okay, that's it.